This is the Biz Call. Question 1, what's your name?
Jessica Bartnick.
Question 2, what's the name of your business?
Yeah, so the name of the business is Foundation for Choice. Choice is an acronym for Consider How One Individual Changes Everything, and we are a nonprofit.
Okay. Interesting about question 4, what's your revenue model?
Yeah, so since we are a nonprofit, we really rely on our individual donors, grants, foundations, special events pre-COVID, but most of our revenue goes to helping the low-income kids that come through our program.
Okay. Question 5, are you brick and mortar, online, or both?
Yeah, so we do have an office. We are a volunteer-heavy organization, so we have volunteer mentors that work one-on-one with low-income kids. And I wrote a curriculum that has a copyright that our mentors use to really help the kids kind of go through the journey of post-secondary success. So our mentors used to go to the schools to meet with the kids, but since of COVID, we are actually a virtual organization at this moment, but we do intend to go back to kind of a little bit of both.
Okay. Question 6. This is the one I love this question. How did you decide to get into this business?
Yeah, absolutely. So my long story short is I was in the corporate world for about 10 years, and I just felt unfulfilled. So I started volunteering to kind of fill that void. And I was helping these low-income kids at a high school. And I realized, you don't know what you don't know, right? But these low-income kids from, underserved communities, they really don't know what they don't know. And to break the cycle of poverty, to help these children get into post-secondary success, whatever that may look like for them, they need a little bit extra support. So I founded this nonprofit to give these kids college and career prep, to help them choose the best path for them, whether it's military, career certificate, or college.
I'm going to ask you 6B. I'm going to sneak one in here, okay?
Okay, cool.
It's a very noble venture, and what I'm curious about is, do you find that the kids in these inner school districts are willing, bright, smarter, good attitudes, or do they play to some other kind of stereotype? Was there any surprise you found there?
Yeah, no, that's a fair question. I think that they deal with different adversity. You drive into these communities and you know that these kids have an uphill battle. And so many of them are great fighters. Whatever their fight may be, they know also that they're going to have a different fight. And I'll just give you an example. One of our students a couple years ago, she was a refugee coming from Burma. And on her way over here to America, her father contracted malaria and passed away. And then her brother, and then her sister. And when they finally came to America, it was just her and her mom. And so this student knew that she had not only adversity, but so much going against her to succeed. And so she knew she had to work harder, right? And I'm a believer that if you work hard, you can accomplish anything you want. And this amazing student received hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of scholarships when she went through our program. She's actually at University of Texas in Austin on a full ride. She's going to medical school, and she wants to work for an organization like Doctors Without Borders, so she can support families that were in her situation coming to America or a refugee, so that they can have medical treatment. But, do they have a different perception on life? Probably. But I think if we give them the tools that they need, because they don't have the tools, if we can give them the tools, they can accomplish whatever they want.
Cool. Okay, that's great. I got a lot of questions, but I'm going to try to stick to the program. Number 7, let's kind of finesse this one. The question is, why would customers choose you over your competition, which still which still is relevant to you. Why would somebody go to Choice for Foundation, the Choice Foundation, rather than another venue?
I love this question. So in nonprofit, and I'm probably going to get smacked at, but that's okay because I'm just going to speak the truth. In nonprofit, there is this misconception that if you impact thousands of people per year, that you are making a great impact on the community. But the reality is, if thousands of people are going through your program, how many are you truly impacting, right? Now, food insecurity is a different one. If you're feeding thousands of people food, then, that's awesome, that's noble, and that I wouldn't bucket that into education. But if you're impacting thousands of people in an education nonprofit, how many are you really impacting? So for us, we impact much less kids per year, but they are one-on-one mentored. They receive actual genuine impact. We have a 95% success rate for every single student that goes through our program. They go into college, or they get a certificate, or they go into the military. So for us, that's why you would choose an organization that has direct impact, as opposed to someone who says that they impact tens of thousands per year, because let's just be real, you can't.
Yeah, 95% is amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go on to question 8, which is, again, we're going to finesse it because you're a nonprofit, but is there an exit strategy or a long-term goal for a foundation like yours?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that. We actually had an amazing opportunity pre-COVID. We were working with this foundation, the Mary P. Dulciani Halorian, and I probably butchered her name, so I apologize, foundation, and they gave us a $15,000 grant to build this learning management system, because we wanted to get ahead of the curve and have our mentors and students be able to log into their own portal instead of using paper, right? So pre-COVID, we were working on this online platform. And, it was kind of this perfect storm where when COVID hit and March of 2020 happened and kids were no longer able to go to school, our mentors and students didn't miss a beat. They were able to log into this online virtual platform and continue to work together to help these kids achieve their goals. So the reason why we were doing that was our long-term goal, which is we wanted to expand nationally. And the only way to truly do that is through technology. And so for us, we have this Salesforce just did this amazing pro bono project for us where we can actually match our students and our mentors through this virtual database that they developed. It's truly amazing. And so our long-term goal is to expand nationally and have this program impact kids in so many low-income communities throughout the nation. COVID kind of threw us for a loop there, so we're probably a year or two behind our original goal, but we are going to get there again.
Cool. All righty. Question 9. What are you doing to increase your business, which I guess in your situation would be to increase your reach? Yeah,
absolutely. We actually have another unique program that we do where we work with corporations. So not only do we help these kids see what their future can be in the post-secondary world, we also give them career access. So we work with hundreds of businesses where these business professionals can have free phone calls with the student and then host them for a half-day career shadow in their office. And one, this gives the kids an opportunity to see what a college degree can provide them, what this post-secondary success can do, because most of our students' families, their parents work in food service or manual labor. So let us show you what can happen if you go that extra mile and work a little bit harder to achieve a little bit more success. And an interesting story on that is one of our kids, I had an eye-opening moment. I have so many epiphanies. I have so many eye-opening moments through this program. One of our kids a couple years ago, who we actually brought in as an intern to our organization, said to me, hey, he worked at Chick-fil-A. He worked the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A, super fast-paced. You knew his shift would go by really fast because everyone's always in the drive-thru line at Chick-fil-A. But he said to me, hey, Jessica, when does this speed up a little bit? And he's sitting behind a laptop, sitting behind a desk. And it was an eye-opening moment for me because what I said to him was, Patrick, you know, you get to use your brain differently. You get to, everything isn't so just fast-paced environment. You get to use your brain in a really smart way to be able to advance your critical thinking skills. And so that was a really eye-opening moment for me. But we also work with other corporations like Toyota, where we've been contracted by them to develop youth mentoring programs for their corporation to give their employees an opportunity to volunteer and impact the community as well. So we do so many different things to increase our business and to help other people do the same.
Cool. Number 10, you mentioned the 95% success rate. How do you measure that success?
Absolutely. So we have a couple KPIs, key performance indicators, that we use to measure the success of our students. And so for us, it's who's getting accepted to college, who's getting accepted to the military, and enrolling. It's not just about acceptance, it's also about enrolling and actually going. Because it's one thing to get an acceptance letter, right? It's another to actually really walk through the doors that first day and go. So that's a big one for us. Also, total college funding. Every single one of the kids in our program averages $30,000 each in college funding. We help them find the funding so they don't have to take out loans, so they don't have to worry about how they're going to pay for school, because the number one reason why low-income kids drop out of college is the perceived inability to pay for it. And 9 out of 10 low-income kids throughout the nation are dropping out of college for whatever reason that may be. And that's a really alarming statistic. So for us, it's about staying in college and helping them pay for it, finding ways to pay for it. And then there's college readiness scores, which are the ACT, the SAT, and really how they are able to kind of, I would say, accomplish those and test, because as you can imagine, the low-income students, they don't test as well as their counterparts in other portions of the country in more affluent neighborhoods.
Question 11, probably we should just breeze by. That's already profitable, but you're a nonprofit, so we don't even need to go there if you don't want.
Yeah, we are not profitable. Our goal is, of course, to spend every money. Right, we don't want to be. That would be a horrible thing.
Okay, question 12, how many employees do you have?
Yeah, so typically we have about 7 on any given day, but I always really like to focus on our volunteers, because fortunately for us, we are an extremely volunteer-heavy organization, and on any given year, we can have upwards of 500 people volunteering for our organization, and those people are the cogs that make the wheels go round. They are just amazing humans.
Okay, 13 and 14, two sides of the same coin. Here we go. 13, what's been the best decision you've made so far?
Starting this organization.
Okay. 14, what's been the worst decision you've made so far?
Oh, boy, letting some people stay on as employees for far too long. No, I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't kid. No, listen, if that's real, that's real, man. There are a lot of people listening right now who are probably playing with that question. But go ahead. What has been the worst decision?
Yeah, sometimes when you just know, you just know. And I love giving people the benefit of the doubt, and I love giving people so many chances to kind of do good, right? That's kind of the mission of a nonprofit. But sometimes you just have to pull the cord. Fortunately, nothing's ever been so detrimental. But yeah, I would say if you're feeling it, trust your gut.
Good. Okay. 15, you get to free ball. Is there anything else that you'd like to add here?
Yeah, absolutely. I really want to talk about education today and kind of what's not being talked about, especially on the news, if you're okay with that. And in these low-income communities, when we're not sending our children to school, our vulnerable population is suffering. And I can tell you that I'm just going to use one of the schools that we serve as an example. They have 700 students that are enrolled in the school. They only have 50 kids that are on campus.
Wow.
Our low-income communities cannot find the students. Not just they're not going to school. They are not being found. So many of the low-income kids that come through our program are working 1 job, 2 jobs to support their families. They can't go to school because they have to stay home to take care of the younger siblings. What we are doing to the future generation of not allowing our kids to go to school today is harming our future. And it's very concerning to see what's happening because, of course, because of these policies, the people that are suffering the most are the most vulnerable, are our low income. And it is the saddest thing I've seen that is not being talked about today, and it should be.
Yeah, I happen to agree. If I could just editorialize for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I think people don't really grasp the notion that in this country, everybody wants to succeed and wants to see everybody else succeed, because when everybody else succeeds, everybody does better.
Yeah.
They just need a letter high fastball. They need a chance to get up to the plate and swing, which is terrific. So one more time, give me the name of your business and then give us the URL.
Absolutely. Foundation for Choice. Foundationforchoice.org. It's a nonprofit, so it's not .com, it's .org. And we always we're on Facebook, Foundation for Choice. We're on Twitter, choice_org. I think we're on Instagram also, Foundation for Choice or something like that. And yeah, so find us, follow us, and support us.
Oh, that's excellent. Thanks so much, Jessica.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
If you'd like to plug your business on the BizCall podcast, simply visit thebizcall.com and fill out the form. If you become a guest, you'll receive a free lifetime membership to the BizCall discussion and networking list. If you're too shy, you can still join the BizCall list at thebizcall.com.